Okay, here we are now, part 3 of the 3-part video series on fundamental analysis. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can potentially profit from these economic releases. So, hope you enjoy the video. Before you watch, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you don't already do so. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and of course on Twitter. And if you follow us on Facebook, you can tune in live every Monday afternoon, 2 p.m. London time, for a live event where we discuss trading opportunities for the week ahead. Hope you enjoy the video. Hi folks, now today's lesson we're going to talk about one of the methods that we use when we're analysing the markets, be it the stock market, currency market or what have you. As you know, there are basically 2 methods that we can use to analyse the markets. You've got the technical analysis and the fundamental analysis, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Technical analysis, as you may well know, is the study of charts. So a technical analyst will look at a chart, look at price action, he'll look back in time, look at previous price history to see look for clues to see where we may go in the future. Price patterns, technical indicators and so forth, all that in another lesson. But today we're going to focus on the fundamental analysis. Now the fundamental analysis is basically the macro view, the big picture. What is driving prices up, down or what have you. Now the fundamental analysis, we look to ascertain the value of a particular entity, stock, currency pair or what have you. We look for the value by looking at the big picture, and then we compare that to the price. And if there's a discrepancy between the price and what we ascertain as the fair value, then of course there is a trading opportunity. We can buy it if the price is lower than the fair value, we can sell it if the price is higher than the fair value. This may be more clearer to some of you in the form of the stock market. I'm sure some of you have bought stocks in the past. With the stock market, often when we're analysing a company, whether to buy it or whether we're going to sell it, well, the first thing we look at is the company making money? We look at the balance sheet, we look at the money coming in, the money going out. The net difference is the profit and the loss. We look to see if the company is profitable. The big picture. We look at, is the company paying dividends? Is it actually giving you a return every year on your ownership of the company? Dividends basically are payable because you are an owner of the company. You have a share of the profits. If dividends are rising, that could actually obviously put the prices up as well, because people want to get involved in those higher dividends. You've got other statistical calculations that are often used when analysing the stock market. You things like EPS, which stands for the earnings per share. You may have heard of the price-earnings ratio. Price-earnings ratio is a way to compare a particular stock with its other stocks in that particular sector. So if that stock is underpriced compared to the sector, that will have a low PE ratio. PE ratios that are low tend to be a company that's worth maybe buying. Again, these are the fundamental, the bigger views, the bigger methods that we use to analyse the company. Then we've got, of course, the marketplace. You know, is the stock that you're going to be buying, is that in a good potential marketplace? If you're looking to buy Apple shares, is everyone piling into the latest Apple device, or are they now looking to maybe move into the Android? You look to see what market sentiment is doing to see indeed if that company is involved in a growing sector. So that is like the macro view. And if you decide that the sector is growing and you see a company that's performing well with a good balance sheet and paying dividends, then that might be worth a buy. That's basically the macro view of the stock market. Now, when it comes to Forex market, using fundamental analysis, basically method of analysing a currency value by looking at the economic and political forces that affect a currency. Currencies are moving up and down all the time, and obviously these are affected by the economic conditions, what's happening to unemployment, for example, what's happening to inflation, what's happening to retail sales, and of course the political forces as well, what governments are in power at the moment, what fiscal policies they might be undertaking as well. So there's a number of factors on the bigger scale of things that's driving an economy higher, and of course where the economy goes, the currency should follow. So basically the idea is that a country's economic standing in the world is gauged by the currency value. An economy that's really strong and doing well should have a strong currency. So a strong economy should see a rising currency. If economy is in trouble and they're in depression and recession, then a weak economy should see a falling currency. Now, throughout the week, there are a number of economic releases that are released by the statistical offices that give us a gauge so we can gauge how the economy is doing. And of course, if we can gauge how the economy is doing, we can gauge where the currency is going to go. So here we've got non-farm payroll. This is the US unemployment number. We're going to delve deeper into these in the next couple of videos, so I'm not going to delve too much into them now, but these are basically the key economic releases that we see periodically throughout the week. Non-farm payroll, that is the US unemployment number. Often you've heard that expression in the past, that when the USA sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. So we always look to see what's happening in the US job market. It's a big indicator. You've got things like the gross domestic product, the GDP. That's basically the state of the country. Is the country growing in value? Like your own bank balance, is your bank balance increasing in value? That's basically the country's GDP. Is it getting wealthier or is it losing its wealth? You've got the consumer price index. That's basically prices on the high street, how much you and I are paying for our goods and services on the high street. All these have an effect on a whole range of policy moves that the government can use, like interest rates and so forth. So the consumer price index. You've got retail sales. Are we buying on the high street? Are we spending money? If we're spending money, then of course consumer prices will go up. We will be increasing, we'll see an increase in prices. That's basically inflation. Purchasing Managers Index. It's a key economic indicator that's released throughout the calendar month. It's basically a survey of all the business leaders in the different sectors like manufacturing and services, asking them what their view is of the economy going forward. Are they employing more staff? Are they investing more in plant and machinery? All gives basically a view on the state of the economy. Are the main participants optimistic or pessimistic? And of course you've got housing data. Is everyone buying houses, building new houses? Again, that's showing you that the economy is upbeat and there's lots of enthusiasm in the country. And of course, if that is happening and all these indicators are pointing in a positive way, it shows you that the currency could increase in value. All this basically affects what happens to interest rates. Interest rates basically determine where a currency should go. Rising interest rates tend to see a currency being strong, and falling interest rates tend to see a weaker currency. Much more of that in the next couple of videos. Okay, so now let's delve a little bit deeper into this economic calendar. We'll talk about where you can find it, the different places to look, and how to interpret the data that's on it. Now, all the different calendars, they all show pretty much the same type of information. First off, they show you the date and the time of the impending release of economic news. Tell you the time in your Pacific time zone. It will also show you the data of the previous release. So it will show you what happened last month, the true data that came out. Then there'll be another column and I'll talk to you about the analysts' expectations, basically what the analysts are expecting the number to be when it is announced. And this is where sometimes the money making opportunities are. And also show you the impact. So whether this is a high impact piece of news like non-farm payroll, or whether it's medium, or indeed whether it's low. Basically how volatile the market is likely to be on the back of this news. Now there are a number of places you can find this economic calendar. Let's just look at a few of them here. Of course, you've got the Forex Factory. That's one of the most common places to look. If I click on that, should pull up Forex Factory. Okay, there you go. So this is the Forex Factory and it shows you all the data in here. There's basically the impact, here's the time and so forth, and all the data that I spoke about. I'll delve deeper into that now by looking at my FX Burke and TradingView on the screens, because I think it'll be easier then for you to see exactly what I'm talking about. Come on, let's have a look. Okay, so let's start off by looking at the MyFX Book calendar. So you go to www.myfxbook.com, pulls up the home page here. Here you can select to set up an account if you wish to. It is free, but you don't need to if you just want to access the information on the site. You go over to home. Here you'll see the news, all the latest news that's coming out at the moment. Tells you how long ago it was as well. Great place for that as well. But if you go down to home and then economic calendar, you'll see the economic calendar. At the top here you'll see the actual has been already populated because this data has already come out. If I scroll down to the more current information, we can see what is due. And now let's just look from left to right. So it tells you the date of the release, it tells you the time of the release, how long to go, 10 minutes and 14 minutes, tells you what's coming out. Here's the national CPI X food and energy. This is in Japan with the Japanese flag there. It's medium impact, which means it's unlikely to affect the markets too much. This is what the previous read was, up 0.2%, and the analysts are going for up 0.2%. Okay, now let's just scroll down to see what's happening tomorrow. I'm in the UK, and obviously I'm trading the currency markets, so I want to see what's happening to the pound. I'll look here, 19th of June, 7 a.m, so that's 16 hours from now. I've got the retail sales numbers coming out. Let's have a look at retail sales year on year. So it's about 16 hours and 43 minutes. The Union Jack tells me it's the United Kingdom. Medium impact news. Used to be a lot more important than retail sales, but not so much these days. And here is the previous read. This is in the midst of a COVID epidemic. Last month's read was negative 22.6%, unprecedented that read. This month they're going for a down of just 17.1, so a slight recovery. And of course this will be populated with the actual read when it comes out. And of course when the actual read differs from the consensus view, that's when there are some money making opportunities. Look here, if you click on the actual retail sales description itself, it pulls up a description of that economic release, and it shows you all the historical data going back, well, quite a few years as well. This big drop, as I say, due to that pandemic. Very useful to see that. So as a retail Forex trader, I'm always wanting to see what is coming out in the coming days and weeks, and certainly hours. Knowing what's ahead certainly will keep you out of trouble and also give you potential trading opportunities. This is the MyFX book calendar. Now we'll take a look at the TradingView calendar. Okay, so tradingview.com, select markets. We're looking at currencies, double click that, and you'll see here to the right the economic calendar. So it shows pretty much the same information. You've got the time of the release, the data itself, and to the right you'll see the actual, the forecast, and the prior. Pretty much the same as Forex Factory and MyFX book. Again, if you click on the description, up will come a description of the release. So as you can see, plenty of places where you can find this economic calendar. They pretty much all show the same information. But now we need to talk about how we can make money from all these economic releases that we see each and every day throughout the calendar month. How to profit from the fundamental news. That is in a separate video, so make sure you watch out for it. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you learned lots from it. Hopefully now you know a little bit more about fundamental analysis and why it is so important. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me that thumbs down. Don't forget to leave a comment as well. I do read them and get back to as many as I can. Now don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. If you do follow us on Facebook, you can tune in live every Monday afternoon, 2 p.m. London time, for a live event where we discuss trading opportunities for the week ahead. Good day, have a good week.